It is a first down. Pirates.
You can paint this one purple. What an incredible win by the ECU Pirates.
Welcome into Blackbeard's Alley, a Pirate football podcast. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, comment, and subscribe. It is homecoming week for East Carolina. The Pirates hosting the Charlotte 49ers. 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday afternoon at Dowdy-Ficklin. 3 Pirate greats are being inducted on Friday night into the ECU Athletics Hall of Fame. We've already caught up with Dwayne Harris, Shane Carden, and now we're joined by one of the best receivers to ever wear the purple and gold, Shane's top target from 2012 to 2014, and that is, of course, Justin Hardy. Deuce, welcome into the show.
How you doing? Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. You're obviously still playing up in Canada, and we'll dive into that here in a few minutes. But just talk about this process and, hearing from John Gilbert, I'm sure within the last several weeks, as far as being inducted into the ECU Hall of Fame, and I know you've heard from Coach Harrell as well.
Oh yeah, it was cool. I got a call telling me that I was inducted. I was happy to hear it. It was a great phone call to have. I actually talked to Coach Harrell as well. He sent me a text message as soon as I got the news, congratulating me. Can't wait to see me and whatnot. So it was definitely a great process. I enjoyed it. I can't wait for this weekend.
Obviously, your career wrapped up back in 2014. You and Shane Carden, there's so many awesome memories in the purple and gold. But take us back to, I guess, what about 2009, 2010, your recruitment coming out of West Craven. It looked like you're going to wind up at Fayetteville State. I guess you've been a high school quarterback, and then you had the opportunity to come to East Carolina as an invited walk-on and very quickly earned a scholarship.
Yeah, that was the process. I had to sign my letter of intent to go to Fayetteville State. I signed to go there as an athlete. I think they wanted me to play quarterback when I got there. ECU was going through a coaching change, and my film somehow got left on the table, I guess you could say, for the new coaches to see. And once they seen saying they want me to come in, invited me to be a walk-on and whatnot, if I could get out my letter of intent at Fayetteville State. So I had to appeal that and had to wait a period, I think it was like 30 days or so, for the appeal to go through, and I was able to get released from my letter of intent to walk on at ECU. And once I got there, it didn't take too much longer after that for me to earn my full scholarship.
During those years, Justin, you, of course, were playing in that air raid system that Ruffin McNeil and Lincoln Riley and staff had brought from Texas Tech, and Mike Leach. What are your memories of that? That had to be very exciting for you as a receiver.
It was fun. Like I said, me playing receiver a little bit in high school, and then having to play my senior year as quarterback, going into the system that Lincoln Riley had, it kind of made sense. Playing quarterback and playing receiver kind of go hand in hand with each other. So it made my job a lot easier because I knew where I needed to be at in the mindset of a quarterback, but also being where I needed to be as a receiver as well.
Throughout your career, your position coach was, of course, Donnie Kirkpatrick, so well known to East Carolina fans. But what are your memories of playing for Coach K? He's quite the character.
My memories of Coach K is great. He gave me a chance. Held everybody accountable. That's one thing I will say. And he kind of instilled in me to do the hard stuff in the sense of the dirty work, in the sense to play. Essentially, when I came in, his words were, "If you don't block, you don't play." So I took his words to heart, and I knew I wanted to play coming in. So blocking was one of the things that I kind of hung my hat on and try to make sure I do that at a high level at all times. And when everything else come easy.
Justin, as I take a look back at your career, a couple things that really stand out. One, your catch radius. If it was in your general vicinity, you're going to catch it more often than not, and that led to some tremendous highlight reel catches. And then also just your ability to block. You mentioned how that was a non-negotiable, with Donnie Kirkpatrick. If you weren't blocking, you weren't going to play. And you had some unbelievable highlight reel blocks. I really think back to those that you had against the Tar Heels in 2013.
Right, like I said, that was one of the big things that he taught us coming in. You block, you play, and that's what everybody did. As far as catch radius, that comes with reps. Day in, day out, just getting those reps in, making myself comfortable with whatever situation that I'm in to go out there and just have my best game.
You see it all the time, guys not working back to the football, and I've said it probably 10 times this year watching the Pirates play. You see a guy just waiting on the ball to get to them. And for our listeners, explain that aspect of it, and that was something that you were excellent at.
I feel like that was most of my receptions. Making sure that I'm coming back to the ball, always being quarterback friendly. You don't want to be in a situation where you're setting your quarterback up to throw an interception or anything like that. So when you say come back to the ball, it's like you mean the ball when it leaves the quarterback hands, essentially. You're not waiting for it to come to you and give the DB a chance to break up on the ball.
One of the major accomplishments in your career, you're number 2 all time. You, of course, were number 1, and then your teammate, Zay Jones, a couple years later breaks the record in 2016. But take us back to that 2014 season when you had that record-breaking reception. And, of course, you finished up, as you see there on our screen, or will in a moment, 387 career catches.
Man, it was a special moment. Not necessarily chasing anything. Like I said, I didn't even know the reception record was a thing going into my senior year. I just was going out there playing football, and it just happened. So I like to attack my game as that, just controlling the things I can control. I want to be better than I was the previous time, so that's what I always set my goals to. And at that point in time, I just wanted to be better statistically in everything that I was doing. So that's how I approach the game.
So many excellent memories. Like I mentioned, your quarterback, Shane Carden, for the majority of your career. Of course, you also played with Dominique Davis. And what do you recall about that first, I believe it's your first touchdown of your career down at Bank of America Stadium against the South Carolina Gamecocks in 2011?
Oh, man, it pretty much told me that I belong here. Like I said, walking on, I didn't know, coming from a D2 school, signing my natural letter intent to go there, to walking on and trying to figure out things was going on. That game kind of solidified that I'm where I'm supposed to be at, and that just made my chip even bigger. To go out there and prove everybody wrong.
Of course, Pirate fans will think about the games against the Tar Heels in 2013 and 2014. But when you think back to your career, whether it's from a team perspective and an individual perspective, what are those games that come to your mind the most?
It's hard to say a lot of games. Like I said, the ones that stand out the most, like you said, is the Tar Heel games. I think as a collective group, we knew going in that they was gonna talk a little junk. They didn't respect us, so going in, we had the mentality that we got to prove them wrong, essentially. And whoever won't believe with us or who didn't rock with us at the time, we didn't really care about it. We believed in us, and we stood on it.
Yeah, yesterday, my co-host Jason Tyndall and I, we were talking to Shane and Shane Carden and I. We were laughing about some of those memories of the Tar Heels, like you said, talking junk, 55 points put on them in 2013, and then in 2014 they were saying it was a fluke prior to that game, and then you guys proceeded to hang 70 and nearly 800 yards.
Yeah, like I said, that week, going into that week, bro, it was like everybody was locked in, and like I said, it showed on the field.
Now, before we move on to talk about your professional career, what are some of those other excellent memories at ECU, be it on the field and maybe even at practice, of Coach Ruff? I had Shane, outline a story about Coach Ruff, and then also, maybe some off the field memories with your teammates that you could share.
Man, we always had a good time. If anything, I will say, like, we always worked together. All 120 of us. So I will say the bond that we had on and off the field kind of made everything what it was on the field. Like the communication, everything we had, it was always good. Coach Rupp was he was big on that, treating everything like a family, and that's how we took it. I will say we had a lot of fun times, especially around Halloween. Just getting together, doing Halloween parties, some great times. ECU was known for doing good Halloweens, and we definitely had a good time around that time.
Justin, following your senior season, you were taken in the 4th round of the 2015 NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons. You played 5 years in the red and black, and over the last 4 to 5 seasons, you've worn those same colors north of the border in the CFL, starring for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
No, it was great. All the hard work that was put in prior to getting drafted, that was a happy moment for me. Being able to, like I said, start off as a walk-on, have the career that I had in college, and then get drafted. Like, that was one of the big things that I wanted to do as a small kid, be a professional athlete, and I got the opportunity to do that. Playing in Atlanta, it was great. I had a chance to play with some great guys. Got a chance to play in the Super Bowl, which a lot of people can't say that they have done or got a chance to do so. Didn't win, but it was a great experience all in all. Even now playing in Canada, it's a great experience. I still got love for the game, and as long as I love it, I'm gonna play.
Yeah, a lot of Pirates have had excellent careers up in the CFL. Of course, you have a wider field, larger end zone, and the goalpost is there on the goal line. So, and then you have motion toward the line of scrimmage. And for our listeners, how would you, outside of what I just mentioned, compare the American game to the Canadian game?
Outside of what you just said, that's pretty much it. Outside of, we only have 3 downs in Canada in the CFL versus 4 downs in the NFL. They actually changed the rules now. I want to say the goalposts will be going to the back of the end zone, and the end zones are getting smaller. And it's only going to be 100 yards. So it's kind of getting closer to the NFL without having some of those rules as far as like the motion towards the line of scrimmage. So it's very close.
So wrapping up the conversation, of course, I'm sure you'll be traveling to Greenville tomorrow. A busy weekend planned for you guys, some golf taking place, dinners, banquets, things of that nature. Have you had the chance yet to catch up with Shane and discuss it this weekend?
Not to that extent. We've been texting back and forth constantly since we've been finding out, essentially. Just trying to, looking forward to seeing each other for the weekend with everybody, really.
Well, Justin, really appreciate the time. Appreciate you carving out about 15 minutes for us. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but Pirate Nation, there's so many excellent memories of your career, and we'd love to have you back on the show sometime down the road.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.
Pirate Nation, that is now East Carolina Hall of Famer Justin Hardy, who wore the purple and gold from 2011 to 2014. As you saw there on the screen, 387 receptions for over 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. But be sure to like, follow, comment, and subscribe. We can be found at Blackbeard Alley on X and at Blackbeard's Alley on Instagram. But that will do it for this edition of the show, and we'll talk to you next time. And as always, go Pirates.